Seseku, Peter Ako, and the challenger is Major Agbo. In a few minutes, while they are getting ready, I'll call on the two camps, or the two campaigns, the two campaign managers to get the candidates for chairman and the candidates for vice chairman to come forward to the table here. And if each campaign has a campaign manager, to come forward and position their various candidates at the table up front here. So while we're trying to sort out all those modalities, we have a special, something very special from one of our dear brothers who's been very, very active in our midst. You always see him around with a lot of goodwill to assist us in whatever we're doing. He's from the chapter of Georgia, and we all know him very well because he has the loudest voice. I think he doesn't even need the microphone. I don't think I'm going to give him the microphone because it's no need. While the campaign managers are coming forward, ladies and gentlemen, give us about 2 to 3 minutes for our dear brother, Greg Tato, to address us on a very, very important point. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Greg Tato. Before Mr. Tato talks, please, the campaign managers, please, the two campaign managers, please come forward.
Hello. Hello. Good evening. Good evening, everybody, brothers and sisters. On behalf of the association, I just want to apologize for the delay and everything. I hope that today will be a very precious day, a very happy day for all of us, because there is a purpose why we came here. Yesterday I said everybody was a winner. If you took off your busy schedules to come here for this convention, you are a winner. I have been thinking about a few things and I've been given an opportunity to express, so I'm going to try to go ahead and do it real quick. My theme for what I want to talk about is stated thus: Meca-Usa must divide. Meca-Usa must divide. And I'm going to tell you why it is very important for Meca-Usa to divide. Now, Meca-Usa needs to divide into 3 different sections. The first section will be development. The second section will be cultural. And the third section will be politics. It makes me feel terrible that with the present appointment, even when some of us are dreaming that one day the Prime Minister will come from Manu, generations and generations are disappearing and there is no Prime Minister coming from Manu. We are sleeping. Manu people are sleeping. We gotta go into the game of politics at some point, and it needs to start in Meca-Usa. Somewhere, somehow, we need to impact the politics of Cameroon. And Manu people, intellectuals as we are, there is no way where we can leave Cameroon to play politics without us being a part of it. So far, Manu is not playing politics, and I'll get back to that. Secondly, development is business. In business, you have key performance indicators. You have to be able to measure your progress. You have to be able to see your gains and losses. You have to be able to appoint directors. You have to be able to fire them when they don't work well. You have to be able to use your 501c. You have to be able to use the advantages that are in the United States to work for your advantage. That is business. And we got to get to a point where business is the order of the day. Now, culture is something that Manu people uphold strongly. But even with culture, we need to sit back and start making some deductions and see what is working for us and what is not working. We should be able to use culture when we come to measure our development, when we come to brag about what we have done as a group, and use culture to crown it all, and dance in happiness, in oneness, in unity, in friendship. That is where culture comes in. Culture should be able to set up straight. While we are playing politics, while we are playing business, culture should be aside to monitor us, to remind us where we come from and what type of politics and what type of development we are picking up. Now, I'll give you a little analysis of what is happening. Follow this up with me, please. I made a budget of $100,000. A budget of $100,000. Follow up with me, please. This is assumptions. I assume that 200 people came to this convention. 200 people. This is all assumptions. I assume that the hotel rooms are $100 a day, averagely, because you know you buy water, you do all that. So if you multiply 200 by 100, you get you get $20,000. And I assume that most of us stay in the hotel for 2 days. So I multiplied it by 2, and it went up to $40,000. I assume that those 200, flights might be 300, flights might be 200, flights might be anything. I gave the cost for flight for those 200, $100 only for flight. And I multiplied it by 200, and it gave me $20,000. I looked at the meals, be it supplied by the chapter, be it individuals went out to eat, and I looked at the cost, and I averaged it at $80,000. I looked at the registration for 200 people times 20, and I got $4,000. I look at the gala fee, $20, and drinks averagely for 200 people. That's $20 plus $5. That's $25. I multiplied it by 200, and it gave me $5,000. I looked at campaign expenses for both camps, and it gave me $3,000. I looked at convention, this is for women. I look at convention outfits just for the convention. $10,000. Now, we are working on averages here. So if you were following my figures, that is how I got my $100,000. You can go back and check it. $100,000 my you people spend in a convention. Now, let's go to other charges. Emotional damage. Priceless. Cannot put a price on that. So let's look at 100,000. 100,000 in our community, used in Manfe, used in Cameroon. $100,000 my new people spent in 2 days in Meca-DC. 100,000 is blown and it's gone. The hotels took $40,000 of our money. $40,000 could be invested in Cameroon. Let me move on. In short, what I want to say here is, the reason I say these three should be separated, if you want to put it under one umbrella, so be it, but they have to be separated. And I'm going to give you my analogy about that. One, development is business. I have defined that. Culture is family. I have defined that. Politics is fighting adversaries. And if you look at it, what is the equation? Right there. Politics, you cannot play politics in your own home. Now, family and business don't mix. We are making the mistake. Meca-Usa Development and Cultural Association. It is time we do business. Meca-Usa, Meca Cultural Group, Meca Development Group, Meca Political Group, and I think we'll get a headway. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Greg Tato. I think those are very, very valid points. I hope our leaders have taken down those points you made, and we can further deliberate on those concerning the state of our association at later opportunities. Before we move on to the election and the debate, which my co-chairman is going to coordinate, I would like us to acknowledge a few people. First of all, I'd like to start with acknowledging the presence of the leader of the Massachusetts chapter. Is it New England or Massachusetts? New England, my bad.
6 states.
All right, that makes it a very, very big chapter. Yeah. 6 states. Mr. Ekine Agbo. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the New England chapter, Mr. Ekine Agbo. And we have in our midst here a number of our ex-Meca-Usa leaders. We introduced the other ones before lunch. Mr. Joseph Ayong is in the audience. Let's acknowledge Mr. Joseph Ayong, ladies and gentlemen. And Seseku David Tambe, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a big hand of applause for all the wonderful work he's done and he continues to do for USA. And Mr. Seseku Solomon Ekbe, if he's in the hall right now. Okay, he's not in here right now, we're acknowledging him in absentia. Seseku Solomon Ekbe, if you are in here, please stand up so we can acknowledge you. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll hand over to the DC president to make some further acknowledgements.
Speaking of acknowledging and making sure that people are giving due respect for their efforts, I'm doing this because a few people, as a matter of fact, many people, when they see me, they say thank you, this is a nice place, we love it and all that stuff. And I want to tell you that I have no credit, I can't take credit for it, I'm not a thief. So, is in the convention committee. Please come forward so that I can acknowledge you. I don't want to call your name and you're not here. So all DC members or people who worked hard for this to succeed, I'm looking at Mr. Tabanya, I'm looking at the Ono Chale, all of you please come forward so people can see those who worked on this. Please, can you stand? Those of you who worked on the committees. Chief Parker is not here. Chief Parker actually put all of this together. I think she's assisting her mother who is very critical condition in Minnesota. And please, I want you to clap for her in absentia because she did a lot of work so that we could find ourselves here. I'm seeing right behind her we have Chief Echu and Mr. Dr. Kenneth Ojong, who are part of the entertainment committee. You see the kids performing yesterday. That was thanks to these two gentlemen. Please give them a hand. They're standing right behind there. I'd also like to acknowledge Ms. Patience Bing. Ms. Patience Bing is actually not part of my executive, but she's been working as if she is. And all the food, all the arrangements and everything that were done are thanks to Mrs. Patience Bing and to a few other ladies who I don't see. And I'm thinking of Mrs. Grace Akwo, I'm thinking of Mrs. Patience Ibini, the vice president of the chapter, Mrs. Esther Taka McCannon. I'm thinking of Mr. Echu Tabenyang, who floats on all committees. Just call him, he's there. Mr. Echu Tabenyang, raise your hand. He's also the chairman of Bisongaba USA. Ms. Patience Ibini is out there at the door. Let me just say this. My executive is comprised of the following people. The vice president is Ms. Esther Taka McCannon. Please clap for her. The secretary is Ms. Patience Ibini. You will see her in a few minutes from now, so we'll give her a hand too. And also, the treasurer is Ms. Vera Enoch. She sat here yesterday to collect money for the drinks and all that stuff. She's not there, I don't see her here. The financiers, Ms. Vera Enoch, please could you stand? When I call your name, please stand so people can see you. And there's also Mr. Tabenya that I just called, is a public relations officer for the chapter. Please give him a hand too. And we have Mr. Awo Ojamorog, who is not here at this time, but clap for him too. He's a wonderful young man. I just wanted to say this. I would have acknowledged them when I was doing the address, but it would have been useless because most of them were not around. You understand, they were taking care of business. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the people who made all these things to happen. Like I said, I can't take any credit for it. So when you want to say that things are done well or that you like these things, go to these people, pat them on the back, give them a hug and tell them thank you. They deserve the credit. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, President, the President of Meca-Usa. As promised, this train will run on time. In as much as our lunch gets into most of our time, I am going to donate 8 minutes of our closing remarks to this to the debates, which means we cannot go past 4. By 4:38, the debates should be over, and we'll have 2 minutes for our closing remarks. Then we'll move over to the next phase. Now, I know that elections bring out the best and worst out of us. And to simplify issues, we've asked the two campaigns to provide us with 5 names each. 5 names each. And these persons will ask one question to, if they want to ask to their candidate, that is fine with us. They're going to ask one question each, which means there will be 10 questions. That way we eliminate the temptation or the accusation of say, oh, we call this person, you call 3 people were against my candidate and 2 people were. So campaigns give us 5 names. And these 5 names, these 5 individuals will ask a question each. So we'll make it 5 questions. And Mr. Chairman, I discussed it with your campaign manager was okay, so that you should have resolved that with your campaign manager. So
Mr. Chairman, I want to say this, my people. We cannot allow Manu to be run by campaigns and campaign teams. This is an election of the people. People want to ask questions, let them ask questions. It's not going to be a thing that some people are going to sit and determine few people who are going to ask questions. That's not the spirit of this convention. So it has to be that the questions come from the floor. There are many people here who do not belong to either campaign who have serious questions that they want to address.
Okay.
Going to start with that.
Please, I heard him. This body is the highest organ of the association. This body can overrule anybody. If this body feels that the question should be open, that is fine with us. We don't have any objection. You see that the idea of writing questions. 15 people may write questions. We're not going to ask all those 15 questions.
We pick 5 questions.
Oh, okay. Whatever, it is fine. We don't have a dog in the fight. What we want to avoid is the temptation or the accusation that we favor candidate A or candidate B. If questions have to come from the floor, and if that's what the body wants, that is fine. But we just, all well and good, all we try to do is to eliminate a lot of hassle. Because first of all, we are behind time. So, following okay.
I think we have a simple solution. If members of the assembly want to ask questions, we can write the questions down, put them all in one basket, and then pick the questions out of that basket and ask someone who can ask the questions to the different candidates.
Okay, is that what we want? Is that what we want? You see what we're running into? Okay, all she said was, the commissioners write questions and we put in a pool. And then we pick from that pool and ask, am I refreshing?
Yeah, I think you're right. What I'm saying is, the members of the assembly have questions. Let's write the questions out, put them in the basket, and then, we can call on the kid here and let them pick the questions from the basket and we ask those questions. And I think that's fair.
Okay, Doctor.
Another comment, please.
Yes, the idea of the sister is excellent, but I beg to differ. That's probability. You cannot control the hands that goes in. What if that hands picks 5 questions addressed to one thing. How are you going to address that?
Okay. You see? Okay, madam. Please give us a, we are running behind them, please.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that this convention had been planned, and he or they had been given the permission to do